Okay, so I want you to imagine about a year and a half ago, I'm sitting in my basement. My basement has no walls. It has like 3 inches of insulation around the exterior wall, nothing else, and some studs on the wall coming down from the stairs. In the middle of the room are the stairs. I hung my television there, and I had a little couch seat, love seat thing there, and I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, I'd really like to move my TV. I'd like to put it on in the space where I would like there to ultimately be a home theater. Maybe I can just throw up a wall. Okay, fast forward. Get on YouTube, watch lots of videos. I find a video by Eddie Case. He says, you can frame your own basement. Watch me. I'll show you how. I buy his course, I don't know, 80 bucks, 90 bucks, whatever it was, something like that. And I go through and I watch these things, and he says, this is how you frame a wall. This is how you place the wall. This is how you use a ram set and set the wall. Okay, cool. Okay. And then during part of the thing, he's like, oh, if you want to draw up your plan, you can use the home designer software. I'm like, that's a good idea. So I draw up a plan. That is, okay. Anytime you watch one of these videos on YouTube, they're like time-lapsed. They're like, they make everything look really, really easy. And, okay, fast forward about a year and a half. I decided to take Eddie's idea and said, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm trying to rub 2 nickels together. I can't afford to hire someone and have them come in and turnkey operation, bada bing, bada bang. So, now, let's see what happened. We're gonna walk in. So I remind you, there were no walls. Little insulation on the exterior wall. I can show you what that looks like. So we just walked in the basement entrance. Let me show you what that looked like. This is the basement entrance. There it is. So, and see this white insulation right here? That's all that was on our walls. Nothing else. Everything else was vacant. So now we needed electricity. We needed HVAC. We needed insulation. We needed framing. Well, let me tell you. We have electricity. This will hold a fan. So I want a blocking in the wall. That's where I'm going to mount it. Got my little variable speed thing on there. This is going to be a kitchenette. So, oh, I did hire a plumber. I don't do plumbing. Dedicated outlet for there. Dedicated outlet for there. Because code says you have to have 2 dedicated 20 amp outlets, GFI protected, if you have a kitchen area. Well, this is a kitchenette, and there's all kinds of things you got to learn, like outlets can't be more than 6 feet apart, where the staples go to staple the wires, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so we are about ready to drywall. There's that white one right there, that's speaker wire. Oh, and we have lights. So we have these lights. Okay, these are not permanent. Okay, don't judge me. I know they're ugly. I just took the old lights that were in the ceiling in these circles, and I stuck them on here. These are going to be sconce lights, but I don't know what kind of sconce light I want to buy. So in the interim, I just grabbed the stuff off the ceiling, threw it up there. And I got all the lights. The electric, let me tell you, the electric was complicated. No one tells you that that's going to be, well, maybe because I make things extra complicated. I wanted in-ceiling lights. I wanted sconce lights. I want my lights to be operated from an app. There's 67 in-ceiling lights. And you got to line them up perfectly. Well, you don't have to do anything. I like my stuff organized. So I want all my lights to be in a row, lined up, dress right dress. Let's see. And these sconce lights right here, they operate from 5 different places. So those switches do that. Then we have, let's come over here. So I don't have all these lights in because I'm going to be drywalling. I don't want to take them all out and then put them back. Okay, so in here, this is the workout zone. We have a staggered stud wall. I got an air return right there. I have a false wall right here, 2-foot false wall. There's a subwoofer gonna go down here, center channel, and of course my left channel, right channel, and a big TV in the middle. This will be a storage closet-ish area. Here I put solid blocking so I can screw stuff for doing weight stuff here into the wall and not have a problem. You see I have these bands and different things. And see, like I have this hook right here. So that'll all be covered with drywall. And then I'll have a fan that mounts right here. I borrowed it. It's in the other room right now. So we have that. I framed out all my windows. I just did that the other day. There's a bunch of windows to frame out. You see how I did that right here. We're using, so I'm very concerned about sound control. I don't like hearing noise that I don't want to hear. If I want to play the stereo, I want to hear the stereo in here. I don't want to hear upstairs and everywhere else. So on the ceiling, we're using resilient channel to separate the drywall from the studs. And the screws will only go through into the channel and not into the studs. So it's supposed to transmit less sound. And we're going to use double 5/8 drywall on the ceiling, single 5/8 on the walls. I did things like I double blocked my walls. I double block on the bottom. That way I can easily, oh, I didn't do it right there, I did a little bit. So I'll throw in a little bit more double block right there. And this is my water heater, so there'll be a door that opens here. I made it extra large. And I also have a door that will be back here. There's my furnace, so I'll have a door right there. Another thing that was very took me months to figure out was the HVAC. And in fact, today I had a little problem. It was the first day I turned on the air conditioner, and I hadn't cleaned out the drain in who knows how long, and then it didn't drain properly, and it flowed out on the floor. Luckily, it's concrete floor. It won't matter. And I'm pretty sure I got it fixed. Well, I'll keep my eye on that. So, yeah, HVAC. So, when you watch Eddie's video, he makes it look very simple. You just cut in your supply line, your supply side, cut a hole, add a duct, bada bing, bada bang, done. Well, no. My system, I didn't know it, but my system does not even heat my house properly as it is. And then I'm going to add more ducts to it. So what I did is I added inline duct fans, AC Infinity duct fans, and they're all operated by temperature control, and changed my world. So what I did is I reduced the total number of ducts and added wide ducts to split some of the lines, and that way I reduced by 3 the total number coming off my supply side, but I increased by 5 the total number of vents overall. So for example, here's a example of a line right there coming out. That line, how nice, I have 2 doors here. See, I even have power and a light up here. That's kind of cool. So here is the fan that is feeding that And right now I've got the AC on. And then up here, for example, I took this line, I put that Y joint on it, and then I ran the line down. And I always make the ducts come out from the floor. Heat rises. If you put heat out of your ceiling, your heat's going to come down about 3/4 of the way down. It won't make you'll have cold floors and maybe cold feet, and then it won't get all the way down, and then it'll start rising. That's what heat does. It rises. So this was unbelievable. Like, took me, and then to balance it all out and make it work, took me months to figure out and how to program it and make it all work. And now I get to program the air conditioning side of the house. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm like ready to throw drywall up. Oh, here's the fans, and I decided airflow. Let me tell you something. This is something you don't know until you do it. I'm going to give you a big tip if you ever decide to finish your unfinished space. Airflow is king. Airflow is what makes a place comfortable. Now, Eddie does talk about it. When you listen to his video, he does mention that airflow is important, and you don't want to just stick some baseboard heaters in, and you want to circulate the air because of the humidity and all that kind of stuff. But to really experience it like I'm experiencing it now, I've got 3 of these fans in this area. Okay, I borrowed 2 of them, or 3. So I've got this fan here, and then so I wanted it neat and clean, so you can see I added the outlet up top for that one. Most of my outlets are 20 amp. That one's a 15 amp. These fans are on a 15 amp. And then I added this, I don't know if you can tell, but now, because I put the variable speed controller on it, it's only 50 dB, maybe 52 dB, not too loud. And having, like I said, having it quiet was very, very important to me. And of course, okay, so that's the fans. There are 17 ducts that have fans in them. It does increase the electric bill a little bit, but that's the price of being comfortable. Okay, so we're gonna come in here. So I just installed this fan yesterday. I decided I wanted to have, that's the big fan, that's the 24-inch fan. That other fan is a little smaller. And I've already got it wired for the variable controller, and I've got a outlet there, or a spot for the outlet to go in right there. So that's what we'll do. Anyway, this is the bedroom. This is going to be my closet right in here. Music is important. I like music, so there'll be a speaker here. There'll be an in-wall subwoofer here. Added another return right in here. Don't fuss at me about that, please. I know there'll be some comments. You know, you're not supposed to do that in wood. Yeah, okay. It's air. In a return, it's not gonna catch on fire. So, yeah, pretty big. This closet was originally 3 foot bigger, but I was very concerned about a coat closet. And so I decided that instead I would steal 3 feet. So here is actually where the coat closet is, right here. And then we threw this switch, this dumb switch right here. We got nice light. So that's like 3 feet. So now instead of having a 12-foot closet, I've got a 9-foot closet. And then again, lots of switches for the lights. See, that cut the hallway light and the kitchenette side. And this is a programmable switch. You can see it right here. So there you go. So this is Arlene's closet. It's 6x4, and I think it's fairly reasonable sized. So again, it's got lights, and I kept the lights on the forward side because they'll be hanging clothes and everything. So here's the framing. I'm gonna move that radon gauge out of there. So we'll finish insulating this, and then of course we have to, but I chose to add plumbing. I wanted that kitchenette. So there's the plumbing, goes down behind that wall. Okay, another important thing is when I sit on the side of the bed, I want to be able to turn my lights on and off. So you can sit on the bed and there's a light. Again, that's just a light fixture. That's not going to be the finished product light. I just stole that from wherever I stole it from. And like I said, the good idea fairy keeps landing. It keeps kicking the project down the road more and more. But I'm like, I was leaning back on my bed upstairs, and I was like, oh, I have all this space behind this wall. I decide it has stuff in the way. It has all the plumbing, has this plumbing pipe. So I needed to build the wall out. And so Eddie's suggestion is just take the furthest thing that's away from the wall and just build a straight wall. Don't go around everything. Don't do a cut, a box here and a box there. It just looks really choppy. I said, that's a good idea, Eddie. So I really like his course, by the way. Anyway, so I decided, a built-in to have some books, put your cell phone, all that kind of stuff would be great. So I had already run the insulation, and then I decided, let's do that. And then I added a little bit of electricity off this octagon box, which will have a light, and that way you can charge your phone and everything. So here is, I've got an 8-inch duct right there feeding that line, and all my fans are running up here in these ducts. And then because of all the duct work and all the stuff, I did a raised ceiling in the center, and then it's lower to get around to block out all the duct work. There's my supply line, and then over here we have an I-beam. The lights are all measured and perfectly aligned, just so. And then also put lots of blocking, which you can see here. All this blocking right here, this is so when I have cabinets, this little bit of water, that's from the AC earlier. This little bit of blocking is for cabinets to go in. I put in a 6-foot bathtub. This is the sewage ejector. Paid my plumber to do that. It's got a dedicated line to it. And blocking here for the towel bars, blocking for the safety rails, for the grab bars. One light up top. This is where the toilet will be. Blocking for the toilet paper holder. I don't know which side it's going to go on. That will be hidden. That door goes into a space under my office. It's a crawl space. Still, I'm about done with this wall. Not quite. I just have to put 2 outlet octagon boxes up top for the above the medicine cabinet. And then I have to make sure I know where the electric is coming out for that medicine cabinet, and then put the blocking in for it. But it's basically done. I've got all my plumbing here, dual sink, 6-foot cabinet. I see it says switch here. I don't think there's actually a switch there anymore. I think that was old, I think. Because the door, when the door opens, it's going to open against this wall right here. That's how I did it. And originally I was going to have cabinets on this back wall, and all I'm going to do is put a beauty station in here for Arlene. I'm not putting the cabinets in that I was originally going to put. And then of course I have oversized doors. I don't know exactly what size door that is, maybe 36 inches, I'm not sure. Anyway, so then we're back at the hallway, as you can see. Oh, and I'm going to put a built-in in this space right here. That's why you see the studs cut out at an angle like this, and it will go from the back of this these stringers and come down. And don't worry about that being at an angle like that. The only one we care about is the outside one being straight. So there were some issues going on there, but we straightened it out, and you'll never ever see it because it's going to have a bookcase that goes against this wall, comes to here. Yeah, just on the other side of this stud. You know, looking at that, I think it was the stairs that were crooked. I think the stairs were actually crooked. Anyway, so here is the home theater. Here's the fan I put in yesterday. Still need to put it in a box up top and a controller. Let me shut that off. So I cut these boards at an angle. I'm going to actually take those boards down, drywall it, and then put them back. That's the plan. So they're just screwed in. They can unscrew easily. This is, I think, 14 by 22. We have resilient channel on the ceiling. I have Rockwool in the walls. This wall is not a staggered. This is an exterior wall right here. So I didn't have to worry about that. This is the staggered stud wall from the other side where the workout zone is. This is an example of taking two 6-inch ducts, adding a fan. Look, you can't even hardly tell they're running. One on each side, and funneling it into an 8-inch duct, and then bringing it down to the center. Because we want to make sure we have really, really good airflow. This is mass-loaded vinyl. It's heavy, and it will help stop the sound from going through the wall. This is a staggered stud wall here, and this will be a speakers in the back, two back there, and then I've got two speakers here. You can see I've got the speaker wire already run, and a speaker wire here. And I've got speakers going up here, 6 of them total. 1, 2, and then there's one in the back right here. And then I've got three more over there. And then I'll have all my mains will fill this cavity here. I'll have a subwoofer and 2 mains, center channel, which will be here, and then again my mains and sub over here. And then there'll be a screen that will mount on cleats, and it will mount to this. You'll never see it. So yes, it's quite quiet in here. And then in here we have the utility room, and you can see that so I have 1 wire left that I didn't connect. This is for the bedroom floor, so I plan to heat the bedroom floor and heat the bathroom floor. We have 2 double pole slot open for the bedroom floor right there. Everything else is in. I've got a lot of dedicated circuits over here for the amplifiers, so we don't have a problem with that. And then one of the things I was concerned with is heat buildup in this room from all the equipment. I mean, it's warm in here anyway. In fact, the exhaust fan is on. So this exhaust fan it's a 4-inch fan, and I'm using a wide duct. I already had an exhaust fan for my dryer. I bought a fan, I put it up. Can you see it? Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, there it is. So there's a fan right there. There's my ducts. So there's my dryer duct. It comes from kind of far away. It comes from over up there. So anyway, it's too far to push all that air from the dryer out of the house. So I added this fan. It turns on when you turn on the dryer, and then it goes out of the house right there. Right there. So I added this Y duct. I added 2 dampers, one on each side so the air doesn't go the wrong way. And then I added this fan for my exhaust, and it's running because it's over 80 degrees up there. And there's a little temperature probe that turns that on. So that is how I keep keep my equipment cooler. I'll have a fan on my equipment as well, but then to get so I don't get too much heat build up in this room, I'm exhausting the heat there. And then I use the exact same fan in the bathroom. I was pretty excited about that. So I think that they originally had the washer and dryer down here, so they had a vent already, and you will never ever see this vent. You'll probably never hear it. I was trying to figure out if it was turned on or not. So here's our ejection pump, and I'll build a cabinet in here. Everything will be covered, and then I'll have just a vent that is running. So that runs based on the humidity. You can see it's pretty quiet. So your eyes, you're gonna get out of the tub, your eyes are gonna go forward this way. They'll never see that exhaust fan. Anyway, so I was pretty excited about that. Again, more blocking for the cabinet, and I'll need to document all that so I have the exact height. More blocking for the cabinet. Lots of glue, by the way. Double blocking on the bottom, double blocking. And let's see if I have an example here. So here you can see we double blocked again across the wall, all the way across. Double blocked this one. I don't remember why that's lower, but it's lower for whatever reason. Probably because I forgot to go back and put that board in. But adding the double blocking will just make attaching the drywall that much easier. And when I go and put the baseboard up, I'll never have to worry about hitting a stud. Is there wood there? Did I get low enough? No, it'll have that much extra. So little things like that to me, they make a big difference. So this is what we've done. It's about 1.5 years of work, maybe a little less, maybe 15 months, something like that. Huge amount. I know I've just taken 30 minutes. That's a long time. So this is what we got. This is 1,500 square feet, and Eddie says that he can do a 900 square foot place in a week or two. Well, he's got a whole crew. I've got myself and I, and but Houston did a huge help wiring up. He wired all the outlets, all the switches, and came up with a design of how to run the wire for like the 5-way for the hallway, which was really great. That I didn't have to burn any neurons to do that. I do have a contractor who's helped me out a little bit, but in general, like I did 98% of this work. I cut every board, drew the plan, I pulled most of the wire. I pulled myself for all the outlets and for the switches. Big, huge deal. Anyway, this is the project, and we are so close to drywall that I can smell it. Like, we might have drywall up tomorrow. I have 40 sheets of drywall sitting right outside that door, just waiting for I'm paying for that. I am not a drywall expert by any stretch, and Eddie was like, oh, you should consider paying someone else to do your drywall. I agree. Could I hang it? Yeah, not. I cannot do level 4, level 5. I might be able to do level 2, level 3. But yeah, bad idea. Okay, so lots of stuff. You let me know if you got questions, whatever, you can post them. So that's what I got. Thanks for watching.